Fuji Speedway is a track and a circuit that has been steeped in Japanese folklore history. It's got so many traditions, being owned by Toyota Racing Corporation and many other establishments. But amazingly, the origins of the circuit are actually very far away from the traditional Japanese heritage. It was set up in the 1960s from, rather incredibly, the Japanese NASCAR Corporation. It even managed to secure a contract to go stock car racing in the 1960s. In 1964, the circuit was already underway and Fuji Speedway was looking like it was going to be an oval circuit. But a certain driver by the name of Sir Sterling Moss decided to show up in the summer of 1964 and said that he wasn't convinced that the circuit was going to be just right for events of the oval nature. However, following on from that, plans changed, contracts were turned around, and we ended up with Fuji Speedway, which hosted the season finale of the 1976 Formula One World Championship season, obviously culminating in the championship victory for James Hunt. It's been quite some time since then, and now we're here in 2021 for round number 7 of the Renault Mégane Trophy, sponsored by Power Max Racing, here with NXTGEN. It's going to be a fascinating circuit, one with a lot of potential to cause some upsets around here. We've had a number of good opportunities, moments and drivers. This man who we're riding with at the moment, Snav, has got a lot of history around this course, and everyone else as well in the lobby who's been here for a number of seasons will know this circuit quite well. I'm Jack TM53, your commentator as always for the Mégane Trophy, and I'm certain that this race is going to fuel up a few interesting peculiarities. Obviously, with that 0.92 mile straight that Snav's just gone down there, a very massive opportune spot for overtaking and any form of shenanigans that might go on during the race itself. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have been to Fuji Speedway before, way back in season 17, 2 seasons ago now, and the drivers then have changed a little bit, but there are still some drivers from that original lobby. Snav being one of them. He led for most of the way in that race, sadly didn't quite get there in the end, but he did get 3rd place. Seamus is another one who took part on that fateful day in Lobby 2. He's in the pits at the current moment. Yeah, Seamus on that day, he sadly didn't finish. He had an accident at turn 1, and it just really set him back from there on in. Now, whilst I'm going through the championship standings shortly, what I've got to do first is I've got to change one of the settings on for the event itself. The reason why is because we have one of the drivers, which by the name, if you know quite well, Duds, he is going to be a little bit late. We want to make sure he gets into the, and just as I say that, he joins. Not to worry. So I'll just put qualifying starts now. But yeah, we were worried about Duds maybe not making it on time, but he's made it, so I didn't need to change the qualifying system in the end. So everyone's got their chance to reset, get back out on circuit, and whilst they do go out on circuit, we can see that Duds is eager man. He's got himself out first of all. I'll run you through the championship standings in the championship. So, following on from last week, Martin JL09 still leads the way. He's on 109. He'll be hoping to bounce back from Brands Hatch last week, where he had a few issues. I have to say, Martin has looked imperious in practice so far, clearly leading the way. So, going to be very interesting to see how the championship leader gets on. Then there's Snav in second. He's on 99 points, only 10 behind, so quite close in that championship. D10 Piper is in 3rd place in the championship. Lost a little bit of momentum as D10 Piper since his win at Alsace. He's only been on the podium once since then, so he's got to hope that Fuji can turn it round for that Zerkatech liveried man. In 4th place in the championship, our newest race winner is Subertus. Where is Subertus? He's 7th at the moment. There he is. He won last week. Brilliant victory it was for him. He is joint 4th in the championship with his long-term rival, and in a way I'd say a friend, Danzo. I'm just looking to see where Danzo is on circuit. There, well, he's not on circuit actually, he's just in the pits. So, bit of work to do for him. He's got to make sure he gets out. Then, in 6th place in the championship, we've got Slow Seamus, who is currently just coming towards Net's corner at the moment. So, he is on 73 points in the championship, very close between 4th, 5th and 6th. Duds is 7th, he's on 65 points. 1805, he didn't finish last week, unfortunately, after looking like he was on for a good result during that race. He's on 43 points. Then there's Bigsy, who wasn't classified last week. He retired to the pits early on and ended up 7 laps down at the end. He's 40 points currently at the moment. Shadowstalker into the top 10 for the first time in a couple of races. He's on 35 points. Mark Parker CRT is on 31. He's not here tonight. We don't know when we'll see Mark Parker. He's still recovering from certain events that happened in the off season, so we're hoping to see him before the end of the season. Hope you're doing okay, Mark, if you're watching. CRT Pip Dijar, I don't believe I've seen his name currently. He hasn't said he was racing tonight, so we'll find out where he is at some stage. Then in 13th place in the championship, Mike Edwards is on 27, as is CRT Pip Dijar for that matter. The 55-8 is 14th on 26. Roving Ireland, who sadly has pulled out for this season, personal circumstances have taken away for the league. He's on 24 points, 55-8's on 26. And then Jazzy Just, who had his debut last week, is on 7 points. And you might have noticed as well, we've got 2 new drivers in tonight, not classified in championship. Dominator 3, he took part in the minis earlier this week, was able to set some relatively competent lap times, so he's in the right lobby. Hopefully we'll see him having a good mix with the other man who's just behind him. That's Scriptman Dan, the number 22 there. You can just see a little bit of a wobbly line from Dominator 3 there. But Scriptman Dan, he's also joined the championship for the first time in the Works liveried car. So those are the drivers in for tonight. I haven't seen the 55-8 actually for that matter, so I'm not certain where he is. But let's have a look at the lap times then. So currently at the moment, Shadowstalker leads the way. That's the first time I've ever said that. He's got provisional pole ahead of Slow Seamus. Bigsy 3rd. D10 Piper's 4th at the moment. What about Martin? Because we know Martin's quick, and sure enough, there he goes. Martin with a 1:41.0 cracking lap time from the championship leader. He can go quicker than that. I've seen it in practice. He's been in the 1:40s, so a couple of attempts to find. But what an effort from Shadowstalker though. That's wonderful to see, a 42.1. But just like last week, can he stay there? Can he stay in the top 5? He's got to try and clear that penalty though. Then there's Seamus in 3rd after the first run. Snav just coming towards turn 1 for the first time. I say turn 1, of course, it is the first corner naturally, but the actual name of the corner is First. Quite literally that is the name. So first corner and Snav on the second row. Bigsy's in 5th. When will the amateur drivers' luck turn around this season? He's been so unfortunate, and we actually found out what happened from last week's event. He just spun at Graham Hill Bend, and then ended up getting caught out because another car who was driving behind him spun in exactly the same place. So Bigsy suffering from the worst of luck this season. Danzo's just improved to 5th. There's D10 Piper in 7th place. Just coming towards the end of his lap. We're going to ride on board the D10 for a lap of Fuji Speedway. As you can see, the driver's just getting some lap times in now. Doesn't go any quicker, but let's go on board with the Zerkatech driver, 3rd place in the championship, remember. So up to 160 mile an hour practically on the brakes at the 100 metre board. Down to 2nd. He's run deep into turn 1, but shouldn't have compromised him too much. Did go a little bit wide. Through turn 2, which is that flat right-hander, and then into turn 3. He's up to 5th gear, down to 4th for Coca-Cola Bend. 97 mile an hour as he comes through there. Then sweeps round at turn 4 and 5. This is 300R. as he goes round in 4th gear, just making sure he keeps the car planted, and then into the hairpin for turn 6. He uses 3rd gear, doesn't use 2nd, runs a little bit over the curb, has to be careful he doesn't spit him off the circuit. Then turn 7, pretty much flat, not much of a corner in the dry, and then through 8 and 9, this is 300R, and then down onto the brakes into Dunlop, the hairpin part of the circuit, and into 2nd gear, flicks it in nicely. Still in 2nd gear, got to be patient on the throttle and up to 3rd. Then again on the brakes once more into 13th corner, that's literally what it's called. On the brakes in 3rd gear, then round he goes. Then through nets, a double left-hander, really tricky to spot the apex as it's off camber, but he does well as D10 Piper. And then into the final corner called Panasonic. 2nd gear for D10, couple of lines you can take through that corner, but he's done well. It's been a neat enough lap apart from the first corner. So what will the Zerkatech driver set in terms of lap time? Soon find out as he comes towards the line. It's a 1:42.8, so that moves him up to 7th. Slow Seamus now moves up to 2nd place. He's 1 second off, and like I said, Martin is in a world of his own at the moment. Shadowstalker still in 3rd place. He's had a mistake on this lap and the lap prior, so he'll have one last crack at it. It's Snav in 4th. Bertus, the race winner from last week, of course. The first non-UK driver to win a race in Lobby 2 since Slow Seamus in season 17. So, flying the flag for international drivers is Bertus tonight, as he does every night. It's 2 temps up on this current lap though. And there's Duds in 6th. D10 Piper in 7th, Big Z in 8th, Danzo 9th, Dominator and Scriptman Dan both together. As Dominator goes a little bit wide at turn 1. Both setting competitive times, only 2 seconds off the pace, and realistically they're only 1 second off Seamus, so that's quite competitive on the debut for those two. There's 1805 and Jazzy Just also in a Joyce Design car. That's going to be that's going to be very interesting to see if I could differentiate between the two drivers. But there's 1 minute left in the session. Obviously this is an old style qualifying session in terms of practice, in terms of the race setup, so I'll allow the drivers obviously to do, once they cross the line, a 10-minute marker, I'll put a little comment in to say quali over, finish final lap. Looks like someone already has finished at the hairpin. But it's Martin who leads the way, and that's a huge margin. 1 second. It's practically a lifetime on this circuit, 1 second. It's a huge margin to have, and he's looking favourite at the moment to extend his championship lead as Suburtus moves up to 4th. 1805 just goes up to 8th there. Sticking with Martin, see what lap time he does. He doesn't improve. That's his final lap he goes on to now. Just going to quickly back out for a second, just because I want to make sure I've got the event settings correct, which I have done, because I didn't want to cause any further drama for anyone. That's Bigsy who's pulled up on the end of this lap, but that's qualifying over, so final lap. Final lap of qualifying. Scriptman down. There's Jazzy Just. So who's going to be the first driver to come to the lines? A couple of cameras to scroll through. Snav. He doesn't improve. He stays in 5th. Duds coming round the final corner now, coming up towards Panasonic. Another car coming towards the line. Can't see if they've improved. Duds will be next up. What's his lap time going to be? Quite a long stretch to get through down this straight. In the fast car. He was on for a podium last week. He improves, but not his position. D10 Piper is into the pit lane, so he's not going to improve. Danzo's seen the checkered flag. Coming around the final corner now with 1805. He's just drifted a little bit wide into the final corner. I don't think he's going to improve. I think he's lost time somewhere. Big Z again, equally not going to improve. A couple of other drivers coming towards the line. Nothing's changing on the timing screens. On about 18.05, no, nothing from him. I did mention that before. The Scriptman down and Dominator. What about these two? They don't improve. Jazzy Just, he's not going to improve either. And that's Shadow Stalker there at the end. Martin has seen the checkered flag. He's not going to improve. So Martin takes pole position then, ladies and gentlemen. A wonderful effort from him. He's got a 1 second margin to everyone else. Fantastic effort. Seamus joins him in second place as everyone decides to do some donuts as they come towards line. But really good effort for him. He's on the front row again, just like last week. What a standout effort from this man, though. Shadow Stalker. His best ever qualifying position. That is fantastic for him. He starts third. What's his race going to be like? Bertis fourth, Snav fifth. That's your top 5. What a race we got to look forward to. So race starting now. What a performance that is from Shadow Stalker, I have to say. He's never had a podium as far as I'm aware in Next Gen, and he's been here for so many seasons. I'm not gonna say anything any further about that, but we're gonna go into the race around Fuji Speedway. There's Martin on the right hand side in that white, grey and red Sales Eye Interactive car. On the left you've got Slow Seamus in the Geisen car, the black, white and red livery. Watch out for Shadow Stalker and Bertus behind on the second row. 20 minutes on the right hand side. Here come the numbers. And the race is live from Fuji Speedway. It's a good start from the front two. Shadow Stalker's going backwards, but Slow Seamus has had a better one than Martin. He leads going into turn 1. Looks like a very good start for Seamus. He's on the inside. Martin tries to go around the outside. Not quite gonna happen, I don't believe. But Martin's still there or thereabouts. Seamus forces him out of the way and he's got the lead. Great start for Seamus. Martin's going to be furious with that. Bertus up to third. Danzo's had a great start. He's up to fourth. He's got D10 Piper on the outside of him as they go into Coca-Cola corner. Both keeping it very clean. Duds is side by side and a bit of fighting going on between himself and Snav. No one's spun around though. They're all bunched up together, which is good to see. Shadow Stalker had a nightmare start from third right the way down to 12th. Awful opening lap. Snav's just careered himself up the inside of Duds. He gets back into 6th. Duds a little bit lucky there. Nearly forced Biggsy off the circuit. And we know how much bad luck Biggsy's had. He doesn't need that in his life. It's 3 wide now as they come towards Dunlop corner for the first time. There goes 18.05. I haven't quite seen where he's gone. I can see his track indicators sent him absolutely flying off circuit. Biggsy's getting hit from everywhere. That's D10 Piper round. The man in third in the championship is round and he drops to the back like a stone. 18.05 in 12. Dominator and Jazzy Just, the two Joyce Design teammates, side by side going through Net's corner. It was a relatively clean start, but unfortunately going into the Dunlop chicane, not sure what happened to 18.05. Just looks like he got hit maybe on the brakes and off flying he went. Biggsy looking to try and make a move on Shadow Stalker, who's gone from 3rd to 12th to 7th in the space of 1 lap. Definitely a lot of yo-yoing going on. Bertus is ahead of Martin and he's looking for a move up the inside. Last week's race winner looking to try and get some more action. Can he go up the inside of Seamus? He can. We'll ride on board with Seamus, but he's not got the switchback, and Sir Bertus is up into 1st place. Great effort from the Fuchs driver. Wonderful effort there. Duds has just put a comment in, not certain what's happened there between himself and Snav. Danzo's in 4th. The front trio already getting away between those. There's Duds, he's in 6th place. Biggsy 7th. Shadow Stalker just fighting off Scriptman Dan as they come into the hairpin for the 2nd time. Chaotic start for everyone. Not certain what happened to D10 and in terms of why he got turned round in 18.05, but back at the front. Seamus under pressure from Martin. Martin's just took advantage of that and just drove past Slow Seamus. Seamus got it all wrong on the curb and Martin's through. Luckily, with such a long straight like this, these 3 will be able to use one another to try and slipstream to the back up to one another. But having said that, Danzo, he's just within striking distance. He went a little bit wide at nets. He's got to try and get this line right through the final corner through Panasonic. Little bit on the curb, but he's done well. So he's going to be in the slipstream. But speaking of slipstream, can Martin close the gap on Bertus? You can see the gap on the left hand side on the indicator coming down. It's 4 tenths. It's lower than 4 tenths now. Bertus goes defensive. Martin sweeps to the right, then to the left. Bertus braked very early. Martin's going to try and go around the outside of him. Bertus put the throttle down, no issues for him, and he keeps first place. Good defensive driving from the Dutch driver. There's Seamus in third. Danzo's just dropped away a little bit. He wasn't as close as he would have wanted, but Snav's not too far away, and if those two can work together, in fact that's Bertus I think who's just gone wide, and Martin, free invitation for him to go up the inside, but Bertus is not giving up. He's going to try and hold on to the inside line. Brakes a little bit later. Touch of contact, nothing major between the two. Martin's still there. Can he get up the inside? He can. Bertus now going to be compromised through these two right-handers. Not much of corners, but it just extends the track a bit more for him. It's going to be on the outside into Dunlop. He's not quite close enough, and Martin takes the lead. Now this is going to be an important job for Bertus. He has to stay on Martin's tail. We know how quick Martin is. He did a 141 earlier in qualifying. Everyone else more than a second away. He's got to keep within 7 tenths, but Martin runs a little bit of deep out of nets. Thought Bertus was going to go round then. He takes a tighter line through Panasonic. And there we go for the time being. So the weaving begins for the front three. Bertus is there, then there's Seamus. Danzo's got within 7 tenths, so he's going to be sliding his way onto the back of this group. Snav's in 5th, Duds is 6th. Dominator up to 7th, really good effort from him. Bigsy, massively defensive against Shadowstalker, and has really compromised himself, so not certain what's happened there. And I think he's going to get overtaken by D10 Piper. Is Bigsy slowing down because of what happened with D10 Piper earlier? Because it looked like Bigsy was trying to slow down. As you can see, Scriptman Dan goes up the inside of D10 and gets past. I wonder if Bigsy was trying to slow down earlier to let D10 Piper back through, but couldn't because of the cars behind. I think that's what was going on there. 1805, he's in 12th, he's past Jazzy just. But at the minute, Martin still holds on, he's got the lead. Bertus is right there with him. Seamus has closed the gap a little bit on the front two, and Danzo trying to do his best to make it a 4-way fight. 14 minutes and less to go in this session. As you can see, Martin again defends, going into Dunlop. Sort of compromises the line that on the inside for Dunlop, but Bertus looking very twitchy coming out of the second gear corners. Again, you just see the tail kicking out on the corner before last. How is he down into Net's corner? No, a lot tighter and cleaner this time from the Dutchman. Takes a wider line this time compared to before. Oh, he hasn't got his line as right as he would have wanted. That's going to promote an opportunity for Bertus. Bertus's defence, realistically, because Seamus is right there now. And Martin is not close enough, realistically, to put him under any sort of pressure. Bertus now having to go to defence against the Irishman as slow Seamus, who's on the outside. Will he brake later? He doesn't. Bertus does instead and keeps the position quite comfortably in the end. Danzo's in 4th, Duds is 5th, he's got Snav right behind him. Scriptman Dan's on the inside of Dominator 3, but he's let Shadowstalker through. Shadowstalker looking to get up the inside of Scriptman Dan as well. There's going to be side by side coming through turn 2, then on the approach for turn 3, coming into what will be Coca-Cola Curve. The Works driver giving each other the room. Shadowstalker up to 7th, Dominator almost looking to get through there, and D10 Piper and Bigsy all involved in this. So there's a 4-car fight at the front and a 5-car fight for 7th place. You can see D10 Piper trying to go around the outside for the hairpin corner. Bigsy slides the car in, gets a nice run out of the corner. It's going to have the momentum on D10 Piper, giving each other a lot of space. Bigsy gives D10 Piper probably more space than he needed to there. Bertus is still in 2nd as it stands, both later on the brakes. Bigsy's going to compromise D10 a little bit into the side of Dominator, and then gives him a little poke out of it just to almost as an apology poke realistically, and that's allowed 18.05, so there's a massive 6-car fight now for 7th place. It's a really wonderful effort so far from the 6 drivers. Here comes Scriptman Dan trying to make a move coming out of nets on Shadowstalker. I'll cut right to the front just to see how Martin's gap is. 1.1, he's out of the slipstream. That's enough for him. Burtis is going to have to go defensive once again. And can he hold on to 2nd place? Brakes a little bit later this time does Seamus. He phases a little bit. Gets a nice switch back. Don't know if he's going to have enough momentum. Burtis covers the inside nonetheless. And the Fuchs man should just be able to muscle his way it through. He gets on the curb though. He hasn't covered the line as well as he wanted to. And Seamus just slides his Mégane through the middle of the road. And into 2nd place he goes. But Burtis is not giving up. He's still on the inside. Is the Fuchs driver. Seamus gives a little bit of room on the inside. He's still going to have the inside line though. Through turns 8 and 9 through 300R. That's going to make Burtis's defence almost evaporate, and sure enough he's going to have to try and do this the long way round, and he backs out of it and decides better of it. So Burtis down to 3rd, Danzo in 4th. Duds has still got Snav with him, and then there's a 7-second gap back to Shadowstalker, who's got Scriptman Dan still fighting with him. Shadowstalker gives as much room as he could, and fends off the Works driver. A little bit squirrely off the exit with Shadowstalker, but he's still in 7th. Well, he's gone wide though with Shadowstalker. It's a poor line, and Scriptman Dan will take that every day of the week. So up to 7th goes Scriptman Dan. Good showing from him so far. There's Big Z. Ooh, got on the curb a little bit, did the Hampshire man. Then there's D10 Piper, Dominator, and 18.05. A lot of action going on, but Martin, I believe, has escaped off and up the road now. As you can see now, here comes Suburtus. He's going to be on the inside this time as he approaches the 1st corner. On the brakes goes Burtis. That should be move done, providing he gets it on the brakes nicely. He has done. He takes 2nd place back then from Seamus. These two having a really good fight. Then in the fight for 7th, Shadowstalker's on the inside. It's 3 wide at the back. It's D10 Piper and Big Z, and Dominator's gone way, way too deep. Big Z says thank you very much. He's back up the inside. He's into 9th. D10 Piper's 10th. And 18.05 now looking to try and go around the outside as they come towards Coca-Cola Curve. Little bit of contact between the two. 18.05 gets on the curb. I thought he was going to jettison back onto the inside there. Side by side through 100R. But 18.05 gets in front, and he moves into 11th position. What a fight this is for 7th place. Scriptman Dan's dropped to 8th now. Whilst all this is going on, this is a wonderful queue of cars. We've not seen a battle this intense before in the midfield. Oh, here comes D10 Piper up the inside of Big Z. Big Z trying to take a couple of bites at the corner, but there was a violet shaped, rather a violet coloured Mégane up the inside, and he goes up to 9th place. Big Z ran deep there, going through 13th corner, but he lives to fight another day. He's in 10th, still in the top 10. He's in the thick of the fight in his Big Z, which is what he wants realistically. You know, Big Z, a good driver. We know he's got speed, but he's just had some bad luck in the last 2 events. But he's not had bad luck coming out of turn 16, has he, ladies and gentlemen? He's had a fantastic run. He should be able to clear D10 Piper before they even get to turn 1. I'm just looking at the gap between D10 Piper and Scriptman Dan, but doesn't benefit from the slipstream. Now D10 Piper comes back at the outside. He brakes a lot later than Big Z. Big Z's still on the inside. They give each other racing room, but Big Z keeps hold of the position for now. Nice momentum coming out of turn 1. And the Hampshire man right in the action, which is what he wants. He wants that after a good number of tough events this season. D10 Piper in the top 10. Then there's 18.05. A little bit of a gap to Dominator. Still a good debut from the Joyce Design driver. His teammates 17 seconds behind him. Both got number 32 as well, which is, for problems of continuity, not quite accurate. But Dominator, he's in 12th. 18.05, still involved in that battle. just spread out a little bit of the 6 now. There's a trio of cars fighting for, well, I say a trio. Scriptman Dan's not as far forward as he was a lap ago, so are they closing the gap? Shadowstalker, you know, from the highs of 3rd, he's still on for a very good scoring of 10 points. His start let him down though, unfortunately. There's Snav, he's just dropped away from Duds, and Danzo is still there or thereabouts in the slipstream, but he can't get close enough. Bertus has dropped behind Seamus, but riding on board with him now down the just under a mile straight. 6 minutes to go effectively in this session. Seamus didn't know whether to defend then. It's too late now. Bertus up his inside. Doesn't break as late as he wanted, but Seamus is very deep into turn 1, and Bertus takes 2nd position away. Nice move from the Fuchs driver. Seamus in 3rd. Ooh, Bertus runs a little bit deep. He's had a few problems with Coca-Cola Curve, has Bertus. Let's not forget these two are fighting hard at the moment, but Danzo is not too far behind now. He's took him a few laps. He did the personal best as Seamus. Oh, he just survived that moment coming out of the hairpin there. That could have been very dramatic for him. But Danzo, just there at the moment. He's not had a podium since round 3 as Danzo. 2 podiums this season, and now he's right in the thick of the fight for potentially trying to score another one. Meanwhile, in the fight for, well, 9th place, it's all changed. 18.05 now, it's up into 9th. Dominator is 10th, and then Bigsy has fallen back with D10 Piper again. So what has happened to... oh, what's happened to Bigsy? He's got that all wrong, and that's a solid wall. Not like Formula 1, he's going to have to try and go right round the outside, and unfortunately for Bigsy, that has just killed off any other chance he had. Oh, and now it's reset him to track. Jazzy just... it's about a second or so behind him. It's unfortunate, really. I mean, the bollards, you should be able to crash through them in theory, but they're a solid object in GT Sport, and Bigsy's race has sadly gone from bad to wrong. He's let Jazzy through. He's still got 4 minutes to go. He's only 2 laps away from the end, so he should come home and get some points. He needs them in this championship fight to get in the top 10. I have to say, we haven't seen much of him since he got back into the lead, but Martin, what a race he's had. This is going to improve his championship position massively in terms of the points. But in terms of points, this is the fight now. Just under 4 minutes to go. Danzo has carved time out of Seamus and Bertus, who have been swapping positions all race long. But it's still not over. Bertus has gone very deep. That's an opportunity for Danzo just to try and have a little bit of a sniff, put pressure on the Fuchs car. Looks a little to the inside, but he's not quite there. Bertus runs deep again, and this time Danzo's going to try and go around the outside at Net's corner. This is the opportunity that Seamus needs, but he's just got a little bit sideways out of Nets, did Seamus. On board with Danzo as they come out of the final corner. He saw Seamus. He knew that was an opportunity, but he's not quite got out of the corner as he would have wanted. Now, this is the fight. Danzo, first realistic opportunity he's got of looking at the back of the Fuchs car as they come towards turn 1. A little bit of wiggling going on. Seamus aiding Bertus with the slipstream realistically, and they stay line astern with 2 laps to go, but Bertus has run deep into the corner. Danzo can't capitalise, and Bertus lives to fight on. He needed that little sap of momentum from Danzo to keep hold of 3rd, but he's still there. Danzo's gone deep into Coca-Cola. He's got very deep, and that's going to take him about a lap to try and pull that gap back. Not ideal for the Adrian Flux driver at all. And Duds has been flying in the last... since his earlier incident. I'm not sure what happened to him earlier on. He did put a comment in the Twitch stream. How he's managed to do that, I'm not sure. But since then, his lap times are 1:41, and he's on the back of Danzo. 141.9 or 141.6 his best lap. In fact, he's the only driver apart from Martin in the 141, so Dudds has found some exceptional speed. He's dropped Snav with relative ease. So Dudds now joins into the fight. He might be a lap too late as he slides through that corner. Just see the rear right tyre smoke just kicking up from the back of his car. So he's going to be on the back of Danzo, and he's got a really good run too. So Danzo's about 9/10 away, and he's already pulling to the inside. He's not going to get the slipstream. Dudds now has an opportunity to take fourth, and if he's quick enough, can he latch onto the back of Bertus? But he got to get past Danzo for the first minute. He goes to the outside. He's going to get a bit more slipstream from the two cars in front. Can it take him past Danzo? On the brakes they go. Danzo's gone way too deep into the corner. They've pushed each other wide. Danzo holds on, but Dudds looks for that switchback. He's got a nice little switchback on the inside at turn 2. He's going to be outside for Coca-Cola corner. Can he hold on? Not quite. Danzo brakes later, slides the car in. Nicely done from Danzo. Just holds his position. Just looking back to see if there are any other fights on circuit. It doesn't look like it. Bigsy unfortunately retires to the pits. Martin on his way now to another race win this season, but will cut back because the fight is now on 4th place. Bertus, I think, and Seamus should just about hold on for these two positions. They've had a wonderful scrap, those two, today. But who's going to get the podium? Danzo on the brakes. Dudds looking for a move. Cuts onto the inside. He's trying to look for the outside at turn 13. I've never seen anyone go around the outside of this corner before, but Dudds is certainly trying. He's unlucky there. This is now the final lap. Martin is coming round by the side of the corner as Dudds looks for a move that wasn't quite there. Danzo goes a little bit wide. I'm going to cut back. Yeah, I'm going to cut back to Martin because he's been absolutely fantastic. It's going to be the 3rd win of the season then for Martin, JL09. He extends his championship advantage. Fantastic race. Seamus is going to take another podium. He's going to be happy with that. He takes 2nd. Bertus is 3rd. Holds on for a podium. Danzo, great effort in 4th. Dudds, what a comeback from him. He had a wonderful race in 5th. Snav in 6th in the end, a quiet race. Shadow Stalker, good event for him, another confidence booster. He takes 7th, he's going to be very happy with that, and his lap times were good too. Scriptman Dan, good result on his debut, he takes 8th position. Dominator in 9th, both debutants there, finishing inside the top 10, really good result for those two. D10 Piper, what might have been unfortunately 2 incidents on his way to 10th place. Then it's 18.05, he's dropped back at the end, I'm not quite certain what's happened to him. He's going to come home in 11th position. And Jazzy Just going to be the final classified driver. Unfortunately, it's another non-finish for Bigsy. But Jazzy just coming towards the line now in 12th place. But it's Martin who's going to take a big leap in terms of the championship. Pole position and the race victory gives him 22 points. Great result. He was absolutely dominant today. Once he got back past Bertus, that was it. Game over. He was off and up the road. Snav, his closest rival in the championship, only 6th. He's going to lose 10 points, and the gap with 3 rounds to go is Martin leading the championship by 20 points. That is now starting to look a little bit insurmountable unless divine fate intervenes for Snav. But nonetheless, what a wonderful race that was. A lot of fighting going on for the placings. It was really good to watch. Seamus and Bertus had a wonderful scrap all the way through. Dudds obviously frustrated with the events of what happened. He ended up finishing behind Danzo in 5th place, but I have to say his drive was brilliant. He was definitely the 2nd fastest driver on circuit, and had he not had those issues, you never know what result he could have got. But Dudds certainly finding his feet now in the championship. Shadow Stalker, he's just put a comment in on the GT Sport chat there, you can see it on the left hand side. The start, like I said, didn't go well for him, but still 7th place, a very competitive showing, and he's getting better and better. You know, can Shadowstalker take a podium in this series? He's not done it in Next Gen, but he's getting there. And that's the whole point, ladies and gentlemen, of these leagues. Get yourselves involved, get better, improve yourself. 1805, yeah, problem on the first lap. Obviously, we saw it going into the corner. You can see on circuit at the moment, going into Dunlop. Something bizarre happened there. We'll find out post-race. But in any case, that is it for the Méganes. Do tune in 10 minutes time, where you will be seeing both Lobby 1 and Lobby 2 for the Volkswagen Scirocco's merged for tonight's race around Fuji. So that's going to be interesting to see how the drivers get on. It's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be wonderful to watch. Next week, we head off to Willow Springs. So, going to be a very good circuit to go around. We have not been there in the Méganes before at Willow Springs. There's no previous data, so it could be anyone's circuit. It's a very fast flowing track. Lap times are guaranteed to be close. So who will we see next to take another race win? Going to be fantastic. But do tune in 10 minutes time. But if you don't, I do hope you have a wonderful evening wherever you are, or whenever you're watching this. I hope you're having a good day. But nonetheless, wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one and stay safe.